Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gerry Dick. This week, we offer some perspective on the Indiana economy in 2025 while also looking ahead to 26. New leadership at the Indiana Statehouse in 2025 brought a different economic strategy to the table with the stated goal of advancing Main Street businesses and supporting regional innovation and entrepreneurship. I sat down with Governor Mike Braun in his office this week to get his take on performance, data centers, and what's next. Governor, as you reflect back on your first year in office, what would you describe as your biggest accomplishment, and why does it matter?
Biggest accomplishment would be the part that generally gets the least talked about. That is the 30 to 32,000 employees among 60 to 70 agencies. How are they working? Well, we immediately restructured state government into 8 policy silos. We're blessed with great talent in the private sector that had government experience leading each one of them. And that restructure, I think, is something even Mitch Daniels had talked about, but they didn't get around to it. It needed to be done.
Do you see Indiana becoming a data center state?
I do, but obviously not in places where they don't want them. That's already been done on the east side of Indianapolis. Another one just got turned down, I think, up in a place where we've already got one. So it's clear that that's not going to work where there are a lot of people, because you're going to have a lot of voices for one reason or another that are against it. The places that may be best fit for it would be like Fulton County, when they said we'd love to have a data center. And they're one of those 30 to 40 counties that are probably under 30,000 in population that have got stable or falling populations to where they need a revitalization, probably don't have the infrastructure for a big employer on the educational system stress and healthcare facilities. Perfect fit.
Do you see Indiana as a big player when it comes to nuclear development?
I do, and remember we had our own dalliance with nuclear energy, Marble Hill. Right. Those facilities have run with nearly impeccable safety records. The beautiful thing about SMRs is they can use up the spent fuel. They get rid of about 85% of the risk factors in an industry that's run really well. The other side of the aisle didn't want anything to do with nuclear until they started to realize it's the only thing that's baseload that doesn't generate greenhouse gases. So now you're politically aligned, I think, on both sides of the aisle. It'll be a big opportunity for whoever gets it first. It'll be a big contributor to economic growth as well.
And you have talked about a moonshot goal of having SMR technology deployed here within 8 years.
8 to 10 years. That's kind of the current estimate, and that's going to be for whoever's nimble, not if you're kind of being slow about it.
Yeah. As you look at economic development, you came in with a different model, if you will, Main Street business that you wanted to focus on. How did that go in year one? How would you assess economic development performance?
You get a lot of questions. Well, are we going to be open for business? We certainly are. Are we going to be looking for the larger companies that we need? We certainly are. But we're not going to have all our eggs in that basket. Also, existing businesses that have been here invested. We want to make sure that we take a little broader look and that we do look at the regional capabilities and interests so that the benefit is felt broadly. So I think all of that is in place. And when you look at some of the stuff we've already been able to do, we're seeing it in the stats.
As you look at, and you mentioned going after larger, bigger investments, there are those who have expressed concern that maybe Indiana is not focused enough on that. How do you answer those critics who say economic development policy is pushed Indiana maybe off the radar?
Say stay tuned. Remember, I had to deal with an IEDC that may have been doing some things correctly, but not transparently. And there was an audit that took a long time to get, and we're going to learn from it.
Would you consider any changes or tweaks to economic development policy?
No, because I think it was run in a way that most Hoosiers weren't sure what it was about. Transparency is always going to be something regardless of the issue, then I'm going to be for. I want competition to always play into it, not to where you maybe had some insider influence. That was all flushed out, I think, by the audit. And I think it tells us, since we're in decent shape vis-a-vis our peer group, that some of that stuff was working. I'm just trying to do it to where we keep the best of what was working, get the businesses that we know are leading edge, biosciences, technology, that pay the highest wages. Those will be the North Stars on what economic development is going to be about. And I think we got a good team, and it'll take the best of what was working before, and it's obviously going to add some new dimensions.
Well, that's not all Governor Braun had to say about his first year in office. I get his take on a new casino location, reaction to the loss on redistricting, and his legislative priorities for 26. That's later in the show.